Hello students, I am Supriya Singh and here I will be teaching you a chapter in biology, and the name of the chapter is Life Processes of 10th Standard. So first of all I would like to introduce the syllabus to you all. So the syllabus of the first chapter is the topic of the chapter is life processes, and the syllabus is about important life processes. So here you have to study what life is, and how do these processes they work in a living organism. So the very first topic is nutrition. That is, you have to study nutrition in plants by the process of photosynthesis, then nutrition in protozoans, and along with the nutrition in human beings. After this you have to study the another topic, and that topic is respiration. And respiration you have to study in plants, and respiration in animals, along with the respiratory organs in man, with mechanism of breathing or ventilation of lungs. Another topic will be transportation. Here you will be studying transportation, how does the transportation takes place in plants, and transportation in human beings. So transportation in human beings is by a system called circulatory system. So you will be studying this human circulatory system in more detail. Along with in this human circulatory system you all will study about the blood, the heart, and the blood vessels. The last topic which will be in this chapter will be excretion, and you have to study the excretion in human beings. Now let me introduce about the living beings or the life. So all the living things around us, they differ from each other. You all know it well, and all of them share some of the common characteristics, and these common characteristics are like food for growth, for like respiration, excretion, respond to stimuli, and even living beings, they show movements, they grow, they reproduce. Above all the living things, they are made up of cells. And these living beings, they are self regulated, they discrete entities. That is, they carry out various processes which are essential for the maintenance of life. And these living beings, they are known as organisms, and their activities, whatever the activities they show in their life, they are known as life processes. Or you can say that the processes which maintain the body functions and which are necessary for the survival of organisms are called life processes. And the important life processes, as I have told you, is which we have to study in this chapter is nutrition, respiration, transportation, metabolism, reproduction, excretion, etc. Now when we talk about the important life processes on molecular or cellular level of organization, you all know that all the organisms, this you must have studied in the previous classes, that all the living organisms, whether they are unicellular means all those organisms which have single cell in their body, and all the life activities are carried out by the single cell only. So all the living organisms, whether they are unicellular or multicellular, they are made up of tiny structural and functional units which are called as cells. And every cell means they contain a living substance which is known as protoplasm, and in this protoplasm both the catabolic and the anabolic, catabolic is the breakdown process and anabolic is the building up processes, they occur continuously and they occur simultaneously. So energy is needed for these processes, and all the living organisms, they need continuous supply of energy from outside the non-living world. Now when we talk about the energy requirement, so to perform the life processes, all the living organisms and their cells, they need energy, and this energy we get this ready-made energy. The cells, they store the ready-made energy in the form of ATP, that is the adenosine triphosphate, and it is a rich compound. It is an energy rich compound that is formed where energy releasing processes are occurring in the cells. Now after this certain processes like nutrition, which you all will be studying in more detail, that is obtaining and utilizing nutrients is called nutrition. It provides material for growth, repair, maintenance and survival for their green plants, and they manufacture their food from the simple inorganic molecules, whereas animals, they procure it from plants or from other animals. Now coming on respiration, every living organisms need some food substance for oxidation to meet the energy requirement or to meet the energy needs, and these are during the oxidation of food, carbon dioxide is formed, and in respiration oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is expelled. Now let us come on the term excretion. All living organisms have an efficient system to get rid of metabolic waste from the body, and this is the process called excretion. And when I talk to you about metabolic waste, so it is the biochemical reaction and processes which takes place in any living organism for the survival. It is a metabolic process. After this we will be studying about the growth, repair and death, that all the living organisms and all the cells exhibit certain degree of growth, and all the living organisms, they show a distinct ability to control and coordination between their tissues and organs. This control and coordination is in the next chapter. And the human beings, they also respond to stimuli, and the living organisms which respond and react to the changes in their external and internal environment, they have the capacity to react to the stimuli, and this is known as irritability. Above all, the another one most important life processes is reproduction, and all the living beings have an inherent tendency to produce young ones of their kind for their coordination of their race. This is what reproduction is. So let us go in more detail about the syllabus for this class. So the very first topic which we are going to take will be nutrition. And nutrition is what? Nutrition is a process by which living beings, they obtain food or synthesize it for growth, repair, maintenance and reproduction, and for many meetings the energy needs. And then we'll study about what food is and what is the importance of food. Further we'll go on different modes of nutrition in organisms, and in more detail we will be studying about the autotrophic nutrition and the heterotrophic nutrition. After that when we will be studying about these types of nutrition, we'll come on the another topic, and that will be the nutrition in plants. So by the process of photosynthesis, the plants prepare their food, and we will be studying the nutrition in plants by photosynthesis, the events during photosynthesis which takes place, the importance of photosynthesis, and we'll study about the leaf structure also as a photosynthetic organ, and about the chloroplast, which is a site of photosynthesis, about stomata, which is the site of exchange of gases and the mechanism of photosynthesis, and also the raw materials which are used for photosynthesis, along with some of the examples and the experiments or activity. After this, we'll further study the nutrition in unicellular organisms, and after this unicellular organisms, we will also study the nutrition in human beings. So when we'll study the nutrition in human beings, first of all, let me tell you the nutrition in unicellular organisms which we are going to study will be means in 5 parts. They are like ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. These are various steps for the nutrition in unicellular organisms. And while studying about the nutrition in human beings, we will be studying the alimentary canal, in which we'll study about the mouth and buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine in more detail. So this will be how the topic will cover about the nutrition, and then we'll start with the another topic in this chapter in more detail, that what respiration is. Respiration is actually, it is a process of oxidation, of breaking down of organic compounds, particularly glucose, with the release of energy. So here we will be studying the mechanism of respiration, the glycolysis, the Krebs cycle in more detail, and we'll also study the types of respiration. So types of respiration, there are two types, the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration. And after that, we'll further go on respiration in plants, that how does the respiration takes place in plants, or you can say the rate of respiration, the exchange of gases. Then while talking about this respiration, we'll go in more detail about the stomata. Then further we'll go on the respiratory organs in man. So while talking about the respiratory organs in man, we will be studying some conducting organs of respiratory tract, and they are like nostrils, nasal passage, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. And the main respiratory organ we will also study in more detail, and these main respiratory organs are the lungs. Along with their functions, we will be studying their location and function. Listen, the thing which is more important in biology is that you should know the diagram along with the labelings, plus you should know the location and the function of any particular organ or anything, whatever you are whatsoever you are studying. After that, we'll go on mechanism of breathing or ventilation of lungs. Here we will be studying about two process, that is inspiration and expiration, or you can say inhalation or exhalation. Then exchange of gases. Here we will study about the external respiration and transport of respiratory gases. Now this was the means this we will be studying in a very detailed form in nutrition and respiration. Now the third topic which I will be discussing with you all is transportation. So here we will be studying transportation in plants and transportation in animals. While talking about the transportation in plants, here we will be studying the necessity of transport system in plants, that is the xylem transport or transport of water and minerals, that is the ascent of sap. Then after further moving on it, we'll study the importance of transpiration and transport of food and other substances. Further discussing we'll see the transportation in human beings also. And while talking about the transportation in human beings, so the transportation in human beings, it is just complex in animals. That is the circulatory system which is associated with the transportation of various substances in the body, and various functions along with. So here we will study about the human circulatory system, and while studying in more detail about the human circulatory system, we will be studying the components of circulatory system, and these components are the blood, lymph, tissue fluid, the blood vessels, lymph vessels, and heart. So everybody must be familiar that heart, it is a pumping organ, and in heart we will I will be discussing with you all the heart chambers, the blood vessels which bring blood to heart, the blood vessels leaving the heart, the blood flow through the heart, means the working of the heart in more detail, and the significance of separation of right and left sides of the heart. Along with it, the heartbeat and the cardiac cycle, plus the about blood pressure also. You should know about the blood, what blood vessels are. Arteries and veins, they form blood vessels along with the capillaries, and the differences between them. Then the circulatory medium, and the circulatory medium is blood. So blood also we will be studying in more detail, and some special functions also about blood and lymphatic system, the what lymph is, what are the functions of lymph. So like this we'll continue with the circulatory system in a human being, and the very last topic of this chapter will be the excretion. So what is excretion? So let me tell you what excretion is. The removal of harmful and unwanted metallic waste and salts from the body is known as excretion. And about when further studying about the excretory system or excretion, we have to study excretion in plants. So the excretory products and the nature and examples I will be discussing with you all in excretion in plants, and the mechanism of excretion in plants. Now further moving on the topic excretion in plants, it after this we'll continue with the excretion in animals. So here I will be telling you about excretion in unicellular organisms, and which will be followed by the excretion in human beings. So while discussing about the excretion in human beings, I will be telling you about the human excretory system. The human excretory system consists of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. And these I will be discussing you in more detail. And one more topic, that is the very important topic in excretion, and that topic is artificial kidney and hemodialysis, the process of hemodialysis. So all these topics I will be explaining you along with the diagrams, along with the experiments or the activities, and the theoretical part I will be giving you all. And to continue, and in the next of my next video I will be starting with the nutrition in more detail.